Alrighty. Hello again there. This is going to be my next tutorial in the tutorial series. And this time I am going to be showing you how to unwrap things for game development. So, as you know, with games you have to make a model, texture it, and then unwrap it, which is unwrapping, well, it can be difficult, but for this one, we are just going to unwrap something very simple. I don't know what yet, but I will think of something. I'm thinking like a chair or something like that. So unwrap something very simple, and we're going to show you the new unwrapping UVW modifier in the window that comes with it. So first, let's start creating our thing. For our units, I use inches, so if you want to use inches, just go under Customize Unit Setup and set down to inches on US Standard. We don't need to worry about a rendering engine. So this one I'm going to show you how to export it for texturing, how to export an ambient occlusion map onto it, and how to actually unwrap the polygons. So here we go. First we're going to create our chair. So actually I'm going to open up something that I created before and pull that chair onto it. So I just have something to work off of. I know how big my chair is. Merge file in, and look at all these things I have. Houses, host, senior project, accessories. There we are, accessories. Houses. Oh yeah, that's right. It's a house table. And I want. We could do the bed. That was fun. Yeah, let's do the bed. More like a bed, actually. So that's my bed and my for our game. That's what it's going to probably look like. And we're not going to texture, we're just going to unwrap it so you can texture it easily enough. So first let's create my bed, these blocks around it. Actually first let's create the bed. So go to the top view and we'll create a box that is, I don't know how big yet. Create a box that is 39, okay, yeah, I know how big that is. Move this over to the side a bit more. Move this out. And make it 39, so this will be our mattress. 39 with a width of, I don't know, we'll say 75. And a height of 6. Nice big bed. Nice big comfortable bed. And height of 5. And we're going to convert that to an animal poly. And now we are going to F4. We're going to change for all. Actually, since this is just going to be a basic tutorial, we're not going to change for these edges. So this will just be a mattress, but we don't need to rename that because everything's going to be put into one polygon at the end. And now we need our side pieces. So let's create a box on this side. And this will be remade a lot probably. And it'll be a 2x4, so 2 by 4. And maybe 2x8. Nah, 2x6. 2x6 at, since ours was 75, so we'll give it 2 inches on either side, so it'll be 79. And maybe a bit more than that, 85, because we're going to have bricks on the other end of it, or not bricks, blocks on the other end, so we can have our stuff. So we're going to leave those out, and that's a mattress. These are 2 side pieces, as you see like that. Move all this up, and now we're going to make our blocks for our ends. Go box in the top view. Yeah, these should be a bit shorter. Let's not make them 85, let's make them 82. And you'll understand why soon. So next we'll make a box, and we'll just go over top of it like this. A 4x4 block. 4x4. And let's say 16 inches height. Something like that. So I'm going to move that over just to be in the center of this. Something like that. And then we'll drag it all the way over here. And I'm only going to be creating one side right now because you can clone it over nicely. Drag that out. I'll delete this out right now. And what we're going to do now is shift click to rotate this. Oh, A for angle snap. Make sure angle snapping is on. It'll look like that. So you snap to 5-degree angles like that. Move it over. And since I'm too lazy to actually worry about this sizes, just convert that to a poly and drag it in. Now the beautiful thing about this is we're hiding a lot of these edges, so we don't actually have to be totally precise. As you can see, this one isn't inside this as much as this one is, so it really doesn't matter, because that'll all be fixed because we'll be deleting stuff. And we'll take this block and move it all the way down here. And I probably want to show some irregular shapes, so I'm going to do what I did before. Move this up, select all these edges, and go to chamfer, and chamfer 2 times over 1 inch, so something like that. And we will select that, and that is good. And move this down. And this should be a bit lower down. A bit smaller, so like that. And then we'll drag it down all the way to there. And we'll drag and copy up to here. And this will have to be like the headrest, so we'll kind of go like this. Pull it down. Cover out to double polygon already. I was going to convert to no polygon. Ring around this, connect it up 3 times. And pull them up just a touch, so it kind of looks like a headboard. So something like that. Pretty simple, but this is low poly, so I mean, nothing too big. Cylinder, for this is going to be our pillow. Actually, chamfer cylinder. So go under extended parameters, chamfer cylinder. And then go like that. Rotate 90 degrees. And just squish it down. And we'll convert this to another poly so we can pull it in a bit too. So that looks kind of ridiculous. Take these and pull them in just a touch. Take these, pull them in just a touch. Move it up onto the bed. Move it over. Kind of a big pillow, so I'll just take the scale tool and scale it down to about 70%. Move it over into the model. This is the model that I'm going to be unwrapping. It doesn't really matter too much about the model. We're not worried about that too much. But now we're going to start unwrapping it. So for the first thing we need to unwrap is we need to understand that we want all this to share one texture map. This is one bed, one texture map. What you could do is if you're animating this, you would literally just select everything like this, and you would put a UV map modifier like from here. However, since this is a static mesh, we're not going to be moving it. It doesn't break up into pieces. This is one mesh. It's going to all have its same collision proxy. It's going to have everything, you know, same like that. So what we're going to do is make this all one editable poly. So to do that, we would just select our pillow or any of our polys actually and go attach. And attach everything. Go there, and everything is attached. Something like that. Next, what we're going to do is get rid of extraneous polygons. Because if we do not need to texture these, don't texture them. They take up room on your texture map. You don't want that, so why worry about them? So what I'm talking about is these things you can be with floor display or never see them, get rid of them. So delete those out. Don't need texture if you're never going to see them. And other ones are these ones that are inside these bricks right here. So like these ones right here, these polygons. We'll never see them, so select them and get rid of them. You could have selected them and get rid of them beforehand, but I want to just get the model out of the way. Just go like this to select them. I think I got both of them. Yeah, all 3 of those, delete them out. Select all 3 of these, delete them out. If what's happening when you're selecting them like that and you're getting all like that, so you're selecting all these and you're selecting anything that your marquee touches, go up here and click on window crossing. Make sure that's closed in so it's so it's window. So anything that's fully inside the window will be selected. So see, I can't select anything that's only inside the full window. It doesn't matter what touches as long as it's only inside the full window. I find it a lot easier for clearing up polygons. And that was just my bad. We'll delete that out, and we'll delete that out. And there we go. So now we've gotten rid of all our extraneous polygons, so we don't have to worry about that. Next, what we're going to do is open our UVW modifier. So add an unwrap UVW to it, and there we go. As you see, there's some green seams on there right now, and if we go open in UV editor, we will see this. This is our UV editor. Right now it looks like a hodgepodge because it is crazy. And this is how our UVs look. So if we'd have a tile texture right on here, it would literally put pieces everywhere. Oh crap, I can't pull it off to the other side because I'm not recording over there. So yeah, that would be that. What I'm going to do actually, sorry about this, is going to take a bit longer because I forgot that I don't have two things to record on my dual monitor I usually use for editing. Layout right here. I want this layout. That. Okay. That didn't work at all. I have not used any reconfigure layout. Okay. Okay. Oh, Alt W probably. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Perspective. There we go. So I got the perspective view, and this view we don't need to worry about because I'm going to be putting this on top of it like that. Alright. So these green seams are your map seams. So this is where the seams are going to be in your texture. We're going to clean this up very nicely so you don't have to worry about that. But first what we need to do is make good peel seams. Now what peel seams do is they allow you to select to peel right here, expand face to seams, and then flatten out that seam. This is a newish version of this UVW modifier. I think this is 2012. This is 2012's UVW modifier. It should be pretty similar in the older versions, but some things might have been changed up. So yeah, let's get to it. First, I'm going to show you the unfold mapping. It works very well for static meshes like this in boxes. So what you're going to do is you can see these, and since they're all elements, when you expand selected element, you just get the entire thing selected. And this is very hard to see up against the red background, so what I'm going to do is make it so much easier for you guys. Actually, this is something I very well suggest for you guys to do too. When you are modeling for it, put a black material on it. So click up here, put a black material on it. This turns everything black. Then go into your materials panel and just make it a standard material, very standard material, and drag and drop it on. This way it makes it black, or it's gray with black lines, which makes it very easy. And if I open it up in my UV modifier again, you can see it doesn't have all those green lines. It has all these nice black dark lines for me to see, and it's very nice for contrast. So if I select a polygon and go expand to selected, you can see all those are selected. So what I like doing is first getting rid of all these boxes and dragging them off into pieces, so I know which pieces are which. So that piece is over there, or not which pieces are which, but that it's not all in this one combined area. So I just select my face, expand face selection to seams, and pull it off. This works, this expand face selection seams works because we attached multiple polygons, or multiple elements. So if this, as you can see this mattress, it's going to select the entire mattress, and we can't do much with that. We're going to have to actually make seams on it so we can actually pull it apart properly. But for most of these boxes, which I love modeling, so keep it nice and low polygon boxes are probably the easiest thing to unwrap. You can use them very well, and we'll just select face to seams, expand selection to seams, and pull them out, just so it's easier for us to see. So this allows us to see every element of the of our scene differently. Oh, that's our, what's it called? Our pillow, and that is our back, and this is the back rest, I'm pretty sure. And there's everything. So those are all our seams. First, I'm going to show you the easiest way to unwrap a box. Select the entire, this is why I just attach boxes. Select the entire box like this, go mapping, unfold mapping, make sure it's walk to closest phase with normalizing clusters. What normalizing clusters do is you see this, I'm going to cancel this out actually now. You see this down here, this box, this is our UV template box. This is what's going to be rendered out for us to draw our textures on, this box, at any size between 256 by 256 all the way up to 496 by 496. And in the end, we're going to have to put everything in this box. It doesn't matter because you can zoom in infinitely, but I like having all this room to work with stuff. But normalizing it makes it the size of this box. It's nice to have because in the end, why not normalize it, right? You're going to have to do that anyways, so why not do it at the beginning? So we're going to do mapping, unfold mapping, walk to closest face. I don't know which the walk to furthest and like the walks do, but I don't really care right now because walk to closest face works. As you can see, and unfolded it, it looks like a box now, and because we got rid of these extraneous these end pieces, it doesn't actually have those anyways. But as you can see right now, there are seams here. These green lines indicate seams, as you can tell with these, because those are our seams. What we want to do is get rid of the seams and only have one real seam where it's hidden. So to do this is we find the seam that's most hidden, which is this seam right here, most likely. This seam, as you can see, the player will never see this seam. It just won't happen. So this seam that we want to have to actually be the seam. So we'll do hit 3 to select polygon mode or face mode. Control select both of these and drag it down to here. And then select all these and go weld all selected seams. And as you can see, this green line, which shows the seam, is now back there. There is no seams up here. So when you're drawing out your textures, you don't have to worry about those seams. That piece is done, so we just drag and drop that off to the side. Now let's do these pieces and do it the same way. Expand face selected seams, mapping, unfold mapping. I just press enter. And select seam. I think this seam is going to be the hidden one. So we'll move this over to here and we'll make sure that seam is the hidden one. Select all these vertices, all selected vertices, and move it over. And that one's done too now. And you see you can get really fast at this. It's just repetition a lot of times with boxes. Mapping, unfold mapping, enter. Oh, excuse me. And the seam. I'm sorry, I'm using CryEngine controls right now, and it's kind of annoying the difference between them. No, that's the thing. So if you get this problem, when you drag it, you get a vertex that's selected like this, just right click on it, go break, it breaks the polygon up, and drag it down like that. Select all the seams. And you can see there's a bit of a deformity to it, but don't worry, we'll relax that out of there. And drag that over there. And now those are these ones. Oh, I think there might be one more. Yeah, there's this one. Expand face select seams. These are all the ones that are using mapping, unfold mapping, closest face. And oh, see, it's already nicely given us one seam, but it's not exactly where we want it. So we want this to move over, break this off. And sometimes it welds them up nicely together, and sometimes it doesn't. But it's not hard to just weld them together like that. And there's all our, as you see, it corresponds with all these selected faces here, and there's all of them. Next one is these pieces. So these pieces are a bit harder because they have this one. As you can see when we go mapping, unfold mapping, closest face, you can see it's this type of cross, which isn't bad, but it's really hard to texture weld. And it takes up so much room because you can't fit anything in here when we're in the end. And you can see all these seams. There's a seam here, and stuff like that. We don't want that. So what we do is we press 3 again. We select all these pieces, break them off, mapping, unfold mapping of these. As you can see, now we only have one seam, and that seam's right there. So we want this to have the seam though. So we'll take this one, move it over right here, select all these in the middle, and weld all selected seams. And now we'll take this and just attach to any one of these. Most likely I want a seam, this one to be attached, because players are most likely either going to look at it from this side or from this side. And you want them to not see the seam from the side they're looking at. So we'll do that, weld them together, and as you can see there's deformity, but don't worry. Click here, go Tools, Relax, or what I like doing, right click, Relax, go to the Options panel of it, and go by Face Angles, and go Start Relax, and you can see it nicely squares it all out for you. And there's another piece of it done. Now we just do that 4 times. So we go select all these vertices, but we don't want the top one, as you remember. Mapping, unfold mapping, and here's our top piece. But first we need to weld all these together. As you can see, the seams change to black. If we had a green material and there's a seam right there, we don't want the seam right there. We really don't. What we do want is a seam back here. So it's the middle one right there. Take these 2, break them off, move them over. Hit 1 for vertex mode, and we'll all select the seams. You can also 1, 2, and 3. I just use 1, 2, and 3 for vertex, edge, and polygon. Much faster. And then we got all these, and we want to rotate this and attach that up. As you can see, it corresponds to it, and then just go stitch to average. And as again, you can see it screw up like that, but no worries. Just go to Relax by Face Angles and start Relax, and it automatically does that. Usually I just leave this up in the corner so I can easily get access to it. And as you can see, they're different sizes, but the Relax tool will worry about that later. Now we'll go over to here, select the entire thing, move it down, deselect the top polygon, unfold the mapping, go like that, and I want this piece, because I mean this is going to be up against the wall probably, so this will probably be the least seen edge. So we'll take these two again, move them over. Oh, we have to break them off first. Move them over, select all these in the middle, and level them up. And as you saw, I selected one of these edges and one of these vertices, so it's one of those two, but we don't want those yet. Then this, we will probably want this one to be the welded seam. So we take that, E to rotate it, just like in the viewport, R to scale it down, move it in, 2 for the edges, and stitch to average. And then start relax. And there's that one. And that's the back piece, we won't worry about that yet, that's going to be our next one. And now we're just going to do this one too. And mapping, unfold mapping. And one, select all these, weld them together. Our seam's not in the correct space, so let's move that over. Break one for the vertices, and there we go, like that. Select all the polygons, and we're good again. Oh, we need to put this on top. Yeah, usually it's W, move, rotate, and scale. There's a free transform one too, but I barely use that. Need to rotate it, and there we go. And then start relax, and as you can see, it relaxes right out. As you can see, these are all different sizes, so what we want to do is select all of them, hit start relax, and then it nice relaxes them out to the same size. This won't work with characters. This only works with nice square things that I'm using right now. But yeah. Alright, here is our next piece. As you remember, we got rid of the end pieces, but we won't if we relax it. Or if we unfold mapping. You can see that it kind of breaks it all up, because it doesn't know where to break it. What we want is our seams down here, where there is no one ever looks. So we'll unselect all those, deselect all those, and we'll move around these so we can see them differently. Go mapping, unfold mapping, and as you can see, it's kind of still, well, eh. So what we can do is we will make the seam on the back piece right here, because no one ever looks there either. I mean, this is going to be top. So, and it'll be easier for the engine to, because there's no curves to it. So we'll move all those out, over. Oh, I want these selected. And as you can see, there's there are two different places, but it doesn't matter if you go mapping, unfold mapping. There you go. You get a nice little thing like that. Stitch to average. Alright, yeah, just stitch select vertices. And there we go. Start relax these. Now I hit start relax so I can get them a nice line like this, so they're easy to put up to here. And these are the ones that, as you can see, I'm checking the lines where they line up to. So the front, these are this front, as you can see in this viewport. Touch up to there. And we'll go one, we'll select all these, and we'll select all these. We'll go weld select vertices. So you can see it's kind of strange looking, but then we'll go start relax. Looks fine. And that's our back foot, base foot. Next is our bed, which is going to be a bit harder, so I'm going to do our pillow. Our pillow, oh, that's not going to work. That's going to close it out. Now the reason I closed it out is because I didn't have the face selected when I was clicking on stuff, and it automatically closes the window. It's kind of poopy. Alrighty, and now we'll do the pillow. So for this one, we're going to have to create seams. And so to do that, we just enter edge selection and loop them. And then we create a seam right down here under peel, convert edge selection to seam. And we do that for both of them. Now the reason we do this, I'll loop this one, is so we can easily flatten this out and easily unfold this. So it's easier for us to work with when we are unwrapping it. So we go. Select this, select the entire, there we go. Well, then we'll just go expand base selection to seams. As you can see, we got that there. And since we want our seam down here, we'll deselect one of these, break it off, mapping, unfold mapping. And you got this now. Select all of these and merge vertices. And we'll take this last one that we left for our seam, and we'll just put this one down here. This is just for us to easily know where our seam is. And just like these two, weld them, and then go relax. By base angles, start relax, stop relax. Nothing really changed, but I wasn't expecting it to, I don't think. Kinda was expecting it to. Wonder why nothing changed. Tools, relax. Relax by base angles, start relax. Okay. Nothing changes, nothing needs to be changed. Ah, that just happened again. And open the UV editor. There we go. Now we'll do the sides. So we just take this, expand face selection. So the side goes there, this one, expand the face selection. Then we'll just relax these out. And by edging face angle again, you can see it like, oh, so that one's this side actually. And now we go with this, relax this out. And we just create the seams. We don't really want to create it wherever we want, but we want it kind of, you know, doesn't really matter, but because it's all going to have a seam, but it does kind of matter because it's nice to know exactly where it is for us. So these two are up there. So we'll rotate this around 180. Whoop. Hit 2 for the edge selection seams, and weld them in. As you can see, there's a bit of distortion, but we can easily fix that up. And so we want these two on this side as well. So hit 2 for edge selection, select those, stitch them together, select the entire thing, start relax, and there we go. Nice little pillow there. Now for the bed, it's a bit different. As you can see, we're going to need to have one for the top part and one for the bottom part. So we're going to need to start creating some seams. Now to do this easily, just take your edge selection tool, loop around. As you can see, we should have gone the entire loop. Nope, we didn't get the entire loop, so we got there. This is a bit harder, so F3 for wireframe view. You probably could go to the element mode and move it, but sometimes you have problems with the UV resetting itself and you don't want to redo all your work, so it's kind of annoying. And we'll just control select this, so just select this loop at the top. And then loop. So something like that. And we'll convert that to an edge selection. We'll do the same for the bottom. Make sure it's an edge. No, that's not the one I wanted. I want this one, I think. Yes, that's what I want. There. 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 And just turn off the map seams so you don't have to look at them. They're kind of in the way. You just have it over by your under configure. You turn off map seams so you can only see your peel seams. Makes it a bit easier to work with. Map seams are nice to know for when you're creating it, so you can know where the seams are actually for your textures, but if we're just creating peel seams, we don't need to know about that. So we got a nice peel seams around there. Then we'll go with 3, select all this, expand to face selection, break it off, go to middle one, expand to face selection, and there's some little pieces there, break that off, our bottom one, and that should be our bottom one, yep. Now we will do planar mapping. So under projection we do planar map, and you can see it's kind of skewed. It shouldn't have been, but I guess that's the way my faces want to be like that. If we start relax, we can do that. You can see it's kind of just a nice top piece of it. We'll take that, press E to rotate it, and rotate it 30 degrees. And there we go for there. Now we got our bottom piece. Do the same thing, projection on, projection off. Start relax, stop relax, and put 45 degrees. Here's the bottom of our bed. So you can see it's really easy to get a good looking slice of the bed. And now next, what we'll do is create the edge of the bed, this entire piece. And I think I want to put a seam down here. Yeah, we're going to put a seam down there so we can have the edges of our bed coming off the edges of the bed right here. So just pull this up to the top so we can work on it, scale it up so we can see it a bit easier. I think it's the top part of our bed. Yeah, that is. So we're going to create a seam right here. So quick seam, break seam, create seam. I kind of like this place. So on the inside of it. I think I did that on the right side, on the other side over there. Nope, I didn't. So undo twice. Right there. And wait. Sorry, my mouse was on the mine. here. Convert to selectable scenes. And then right, yeah, right here. And right here. So we got those all nicely set up. 3 for face. And as you can see, it's kind of difficult to select the face, but we got that one. It's like convert to expand the seams, but for some reason didn't like it. So we just noticed this is the face, so we'll break that off. Move this down here. Press 2 for our edge and weld that seam. Stitch those edges together. Now for another one, we'll look over here. Expand that to the seams. Break that off. Relax it out so we can get a nice little straight line there. Oh, and there's some, yeah, so what we'll do is just stitch all these together. For some reason it doesn't want to stitch together. I kind of wonder what those ones are. Like, they shouldn't even be there. Oh, I know what happened. So what we'll do here is actually go mapping, unfold mapping to normal faces, and that kind of did not like it. So there's another way we can do it. Do a projection map on it, and then start relax. And there it is. As you can see, it's actually nicely done for us. The entire side of it. So take those, move them up to here, press 2, and actually we'll weld. You can see right here, there's blue target to know where your target of this vertex is. So weld all our target vertices to it. Take all these, select them, and then as you see the blue ones here to tell us where our target is, select those, and we don't want this last one right here. We just want these first two. So we'll do that. And we'll stitch our vertices together. Hit 3 again, faces, and relax them out. So you can see we get a nice little unfolded bed right here. We'll do it again for this piece back here. And the face, select that, and break it out. And now it's like, nope, what edge is it? As you can see, something I should have gone over actually. The red one is your selected one, and any blue things is the edges it will connect to. If you have a 3 selected with face, it'll say all these edges are selected, these ones, and then 1 for your vertex, it's a blue vertex will be your target vertices of your selected vertex. And then we'll stitch that together. Just select all again, start relax. And then this one, which is planar mapping again, and start relax. That's an easy way to do it. And then as you can see, as you can see, this one doesn't light up, so it's not that angle. You rotate around this edge and then lights up with blue, stitch together, start relax, and we'll weld some of these vertices together. Weld those 2 vertices together, and these 2 vertices together. Now we have everything unwrapped, but they're not the right size, as you can see, and actually we'll attach this to the underside of it. So as you can see, this edge would connect over here. If you don't see the blue edge, let's just go back to, if you don't see the blue edge, what you probably have is some selected vertices that doesn't allow it. So go back to verticing mode by pressing 1 and then click away so you can see your vertices again, or so you can see your target edge again. Over here, select all these, rotate this around because I think this should work. And then this would be, yeah, as you can see, those are target vertices, etc. There, select those 2 target vertices, this one and this one. Select these 2 down here, all together, 3, and right click, relax by face angles. Start relax. And there's our bed. Now the next thing to do is get these all the same size. It's an easy way to do it. You lose some detail, but we don't have to worry about that because nothing's on it yet, and they're all square, so this works. So you just go relax, face angles, start relax, and there we go. As you can see, they're all now relative size to each other. And the next thing we do is we want to pack all these UVs into here. So you can try to do it manually, but that doesn't never work out too well. There's a nice little tool there. You go Tools, Pack UVs. Recursive Pack is probably the best one, so it just keeps packing and goes over and over until it finds the best one. And padding is the padding between packs of UVs, so the padding between each of these clusters for when you're drawing. Normalizing clusters makes it the right size for this one, so we want to do that. Rotating allows them to rotate clusters inside to fit them better. Filling holes fills all the holes together, but we don't need to do that. And rescaling, of course, scales in the clusters so they fit. Of course, we need that. That's okay, and as you can see, everything's really nicely packed in there for our UV template. So now you're going to say, well, we need this template so we can draw stuff on it. And to do that, we will go into Mapping, Art Tools, Render UVW Template. And in this window, we get to select the size of our map. So we can make it 2048 by 2048, 512 by 512. You have a guess the aspect ratio, but usually not a good thing because you want your texture maps to be multiples of 2. So 256 is the smallest, then 512, then 1024, 248, 4096, and I guess 4096 times 2. But I've never seen a texture map that big. Usually I work with 2048 by 2048. This is the background color, so you fill it with alpha, fill it with the gray, but I saved it as ping with an alpha of 1, so it's all black in the background. The edges are white, but then I inverted into in Photoshop, so it doesn't matter, so you can make the edges black if you want. Turn off the alpha, fill it with white. This will be a background of white. And change the mode to a shader or solid. And then seam edges, which are green. This will allow you to know like where your seams are. And usually I do a nice little blue or red. I like red for seam edges. And then we render a UV template. As you see, it's black in the background, but shouldn't have been solid. Should have had a white background. Ah well. Silly background. Edges alpha 1. And I can't even see it now. So that showed up for me because it doesn't like it. There it is. Oh, that's inside it. Okay. So that's inside it. Again, what I usually do is black, white, and that, and blue. Then we render UV template. It'll take a while sometimes. Or my maximum, yeah. So there's my template now. Zoom in, you can see it nicely. And I like this template the best because then I just invert it and it looks really nice for everything. And then go to save, and you save your template off to wherever you like to. So let's go under tutorials. Let's make a tutorial for this. UV mapping. And then bed UV. So there's a ping, save that, press OK. That's all nicely done. And I'll close this out. And as you can see, if we go into here, into wherever that was, under tutorials, UV mapping, we can see our bed UV is here. We open it up, and there we go. So UV mapping, we can easily draw onto it. And then, what we're going to do is render out the ambient occlusion for this. Ambient occlusion I go over a lot. It sends out voxels and says if it bounces off something, there's something close to it. And the closer stuff is to it, the darker it looks. So we want this ambient occlusion, makes textures look a lot more realistic. So to render off our ambient occlusion for mapping, what you do is first you go into rendering setup. So render setup. And we go single, but we don't care about that. We go to assign renderer, and we change it to our mental ray renderer. And first I just like making sure my mental ray renders on, renders out mental ray. And then what we do is go 0 for render texture to get this window up. You just go render texture. And first we find this renders out our path. So our path to our output we first find is wherever we are under. And I got a lot of stuff in there. So tutorials, low poly, not low poly modeling. Those last ones, UV mapping. Okay. And then render settings, this can be our setup. But we can see we can have a render array with no global illumination, no loading time, no hidden lines, no lines, daylight, etc. We don't care about this too much. So what we care about is this right here. So we want to make sure this our right object is loaded in. The box 01 is a box 01. I could rename this bed, which would be better. So bed. As you can see, it's bed. Under here, mapping coordinates, use existing channel. We unwrap this. If we used automatic unwrap, it would try to unwrap itself, but we already unwrapped it with the unwrap UVW. and it is channel 1 automatically because that's the only channel that's in there. Now, right down here under output, what we had is we want an ambient occlusion map. So add elements, and we want it to be the same size as our ping that we saved out for our template, so 2048 by 2048, and make sure that our file name and type, bed ambient occlusion, that's good enough. It tells us it's an ambient occlusion map for a mental ray of the bed, which is our object. If we go up here, it'll automatically save our target map into our path right here. Now what you can do is you can have it go into a map slot, so like your diffuse color of your material, but we don't have the material on it, so it doesn't matter. But you can set it to be there, to be the diffuse color, but we're just going to make it into a texture, so we don't need a target map slot. And it'll make our samples of 256, which makes it much higher sample, so it sends out more ambient occlusion of voxels, which is better results. And we hit render. And it finds out UVs. It says it doesn't have a target map slot, but we didn't select one, so it's alright. Let's continue. It bakes out our textures, and as you can see, it is baking out our ambient occlusion. Now it's slowly doing it, and I'm going to pause it while it does this. Alright, so now it's rendered out, as you can see. So close that out, and because we saved it into the same place that we had our other one, we'll go there. Tutorials and UV mapping. As you can see, it's a target file, so bed ambient occlusion. Should have actually gone over that, save it out. Oh, it opens up in Photoshop. Right here, under file name and type, you can go here to the 3 little dots on the other. You set your name right here, and then I like target files for it because they're the old school PNGs. I just like them. You can set JPEGs or PNGs. I would set a ping or a target because they have transparencies. Cancel that out of there because I don't need it. And as you can see, this is our ambient occlusion that we'll be using for our texturing. So that is everything. You can now unwrap your stuff and have fun with that. It's probably one of the most boring things to do, but it's necessary to do. I'm getting faster at it too, so it's much easier now for me, and much funner, getting faster. I also reached 100 subscribers, which is awesome. So what I was thinking is you guys suggest a series. It doesn't have to just be one tutorial topic. A series is something you really want to learn. And yeah, I'll do something. I'll see what I can do on that. So suggest a series of something you want to learn and have fun at it. Cheers.